committee back in 2018. I've been working in the area of workforce, future workforce for quite some time. This is just one important part of it. And I'm delighted to be back in Europe and the Region 8 as a whole. Marti, would you like to briefly introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Thanks so much, and it's very exciting to be here. My name is Marti Grimmick. I'm the founder and CEO of International Connector and the Your Big Year youth training platform. Just really briefly, I founded the company 20 years ago. Our headquarters are in the Netherlands, in The Hague, and in San Francisco. And although our name may not be what we call like a very familiar name, we work with most of the big tech companies from IBM, Microsoft, Google, you name it. And we focus on how younger generations are impacting business today. So we get your voice involved in the design of products and things that these companies are working on. And then we also focus on workforce development. So I'm really proud to say that the young people we work with are in 190 countries. And I guess my one fun fact for IEEE is the first time I was involved with them was speaking in Tunis and in EFAX. So that gives me another connection point into this specific region.
Thank you, Marti. Great introduction. Samarth, would you like to go next?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for having me. My name is Samarth, and I am working in the UK as the director of GE Vernova for one of their parts of R&D. So I've spent all my career in power and energy business as R&D leader in different roles. But within IEEE, I'm acting as one of the chairs for humanitarian technologies within the EMEA region. And beyond that, I have spent time with other committees. But that's me. Thank you.
Thank you, Samarth. Moez?
Hi, everybody. I'm very pleased to be with you today. I'm Moez Chakchouk. I'm Executive Director of WFEO, the World Federation of Engineering Organizations. It's based in Paris. I'm also linked to this region because I'm Tunisian. I spent most of my career in Tunisia and also in Paris, in UNESCO, and now I joined the WFEO. So I'm very pleased to join you in this panel, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Thank you.
Glad to have you all. Moez. Reem?
Hello, everybody. My name is Reem Turki. I work as a GRC General Manager in Ministry of Municipality and Housing in Saudi Arabia. I'm IEEE chair since maybe 2004, actively working in the Western region. I worked as a woman in engineering chair for the Western region for more than 10 years.
Great. As esteemed audience, as you can see, we have a wealth of experience professionally, volunteer-wise, etc. We will organize this short panel in the form of first quick introduction, then we'll ask 3 questions of the audience and then of the panelists, and then open up for everyone. As I was saying, I work on future workforce for quite some time, and our hypothesis was that there are various factors that affect the world, and there are technologies that also affect the world. And based on the 2, we're making recommendations to industry, academia, government, and professional organizations, as well as to each one of us, what kind of skills we need to adapt. We held the panels on around the world. As you can see, we held 2 panels in Region 8, Europe, Middle East, and North Africa, and then separately Sub-Saharan Africa. And we came to a variety of conclusions. Last year, we've done it to Africa as a whole. And this report, I think Moez and I will work on it, and it will be coming out soon. So this is just to give you some sense of where this is going. But as of recently, especially after we issued these reports in the past, AI has really taken off the world by a huge surprise, not just by the amount, but also the speed of change. So I'm going to ask in a different order our esteemed panelists. The first question, how is AI affecting profession and education in Region 8? And which jobs are going away, which ones are emerging? So we'll start this time with Samarth.
Thank you, Dejan. So I think, or Dejan, as you prefer. Well, to be very honest, I mean, in my sector, and I'll not speak for anyone else, but in the energy and power distribution sector that I am in, what I can tell is AI is not taking anyone's job. No one's job is going away. Rather, we are using AI very, very nicely to bridge the gap, the talent gap we have within our industry. Honestly, I mean, we are still lacking a lot of people in this industry. We need more and more people with STEM education, learning electronics engineering, electrical engineering, and coming up to the scale of delivering megawatts of power from place A to place B. Having said that, I also know that education is using AI in a very wonderful way. I mean, I was in a guest lecture somewhere in Sweden, and we talked about this very openly. And what I can tell you is the things that took the professors and people like us, educators sometimes, that took us hours of preparation now happens within minutes. And I think that's the simplest example everyone knows. So nothing out of the blue here. But all in all, I would say if used in the right way, we are actually looking at quite very good value proposition, productivity boosting far, far beyond. And jobs in energy and power sector where I'm coming from, we are not taking any job, and AI is not taking any job out of us. So that's a very short and simple answer, if I may.
But very insightful. Thank you, Samarth. Reem, would you like to go next?
Yes, so in the government sector, it's also very prominent to use AI in many fields in the government. For example, I'll choose the tendering, the governmental tendering. I mean, there's a lot of AI development happening in the AI tendering to have to scan the list of the vendors who are applying through. We have a unified platform in Saudi Arabia for all the governmental tendering. So unifying the things and making sure that we are selecting the proper vendors with specification, since most of the government are using these a platform, integrated platform. It is actually the selection process. Also, we are using it in the municipality and housing ministry in Saudi Arabia, in smart city a lot. We are implementing a lot of emerging technologies in our municipality section. In the smart cities, in the gardens, the parks, and also the smart waste management. So implementing it and teaching these engineers to adapt and to learn the AI tools is a must, especially the emerging AI in Saudi Arabia. The skills are one of the most important skills in all the CVs that we are recruiting for the new engineers and future engineers.
Thank you, Reem. Great observations. Moez, would you like to go next?
First, I would say AI is not affecting engineering. AI is empowering engineering. Engineers are using AI today and more, and I think that's very important to notice. When engineers designed and use and do their jobs, they use AI mostly, and this is very important to highlight that student engineers and also young engineers are really use AI and also develop by using AI. So it is very important that to consider this. So the impacts are really positive, but at the same time, we don't think that jobs AI is affecting the jobs and on the engineering market. But at the same time, I think that what's important is to say is that there is a lot of ethical implications on the engineering design and on the when we use AI, when we develop AI. So that's very important to consider. That's why in WFEO we are considering to have a code of conduct for engineering when they use and develop AI.
Thank you. Thank you, Moez. And then MartiI, last but definitely not least.
Yeah, I'll just quickly say that one of the best things that you can do, regardless of where we're going with jobs, because I do think that we are going to lose some jobs, and we are seeing some of that, but we are also seeing new jobs created. So one of the best investment you can do for yourself is to look at what we call like soft skills, and how you build relationships and how you learn to go out with agency of yourself in the market and understanding that, bringing that adaptability and curiosity, because we're seeing that more and more companies are looking for both that technical skill, but then also somebody who can build those relationships, because that will help you in any pathway through this market where we don't know where everything is going to end up.
Great observations by all of you. We are moving now to the second question. And the question is, what are threats, opportunities for students and professionals caused by accelerated advancement of AI? I know you touched on it a little bit, but I think there's much more to be said. Reem, would you like to start this time?
Okay, so I can give an advice for the fresh graduate to three things: to use it, to work faster and smarter. Don't also use it excessively to lose your judgmental thinking. So be wise in using it. And also there are a lot of skills to be learned. I mean, you have to advance your skills as you go. The soft skills, as MartiI mentioned, is very important to mix the human-centric with the AI skills as well. Most of the engineers, most of the people, the programmers, everybody in the work, the scientific part needs to have also a human-centric and like business-centric when dealing with now in the current workspace, not only just focusing on the engineering side and the programming side. The soft skills is very, very important in the workspace.
Excellent. We have a couple of questions in the audience. Would you mind waiting until all panelists answer this question? Then I'll let you, ladies, I think it was Lana and another lady, or gentleman who asked the question. If you don't mind raising your hands, and I'll allow you to talk. The next one, Moez, would you like to go next, please? Moez, you're muted is the most frequent case.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I think that I touched some of these aspects in my previous intervention. I think what's important when engineers use AI or develop AI systems or any intelligent system that might be able to achieve a task or project or whatever, there are some considerations, some threats that need to be considered first, so that the critical thinking, the human-centered approach that mentioned by Reem, and all these ethical considerations, including the cybersecurity, including the privacy, including the human rights aspects. But this is all things that we need to be considered when with the advancement of AI. What is important also is to say that there are huge opportunities, and as an emerging technology is bringing a lot of benefits. So we need to consider the benefits, and of course, the risks are always there, and we need to mitigate the risks. This is all time the same. When the internet happened and started be connected, think that the threats was all time highlighted. That doesn't mean that the internet didn't develop. And now the same thing with AI and with other technologies. So threats and opportunities are always there, whether for students, particularly for engineering, because we need to reform all the curricula and a lot of our education, higher education systems, but also for professionals who you can use that and then expose to the companies or the businesses to some threats. So this is very important to be considered, and I think that will come step by step.
Thank you, Moez. MartiI, would you like to go next?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we started our company years ago, right, we used to work with companies and talk to them about what we say: rethink, reimagine, redesign. And now it's not just for companies, right? It's for all of us, because we can't rely on exactly what things are today are going to be the same tomorrow. And that's okay. That's exciting. And especially for all of you, because you haven't been in these industries for as long as all of us panelists have. And so you're bringing in fresh eyes. So use that as your superpower, right? Reimagine what's possible. Don't put up the barriers that many of us are going to say are in place, and bring that exciting ideas to it and reimagine your pathways in this next steps as well, so that you can just navigate where things are going and just look for those opportunities. You don't have to wait for everything to happen to you.
Thanks, Marty. I like both your messages as well as enthusiasm. And the last but not least in this round, Samarth. And after that, we'll let Khushbu ask the question.
Thanks, Dejan. Again, I mean, I think everyone has said it quite aptly, and my only 2 cents is, AI is all data driven. So the only threat that we see, or I see in where I'm working in the industries around, is putting in bad data or putting in no data and expecting good results. So we have seen things happening, CVs coming, for example, to me for recruitment, completely written by AI, but showing that yes, it's AI written. And I think that's not fair enough. The opportunity here, however, is that if you're not very good at a certain language and you want to create a CV in that language, you can still use AI, give all the data, the right data, and let it prepare a CV for you. But be humble enough then to write that this was prepared with the help of AI. And I think that's acceptable. I would appreciate that actually, because it's better to have an AI beautified CV than having a bad CV. So my suggestion here is, use it wisely, use it the right way. I would say there's only opportunities. The threats are small if you're wise enough, and if you don't use it carefully, then of course you invite yourself to a lot of unwanted opposition to AI. That's where I stop. Thank you.
Yeah, great observations. Yeah, I've seen myself a lot of that where people use AI to write the papers, even patents, which
Yes.
doesn't make any sense to me. But using it as a tool to fix, it's a great thing. So Khushbu, I'm going to allow you to ask the question quickly. Are you ready to ask the question? You raise your hand. And yeah, go ahead.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for the insightful session. So actually, I'm a PhD student here at the University of Glasgow, and I'm doing my PhD here in electronics and communication engineering. So during my PhD, I use a lot of AI tools, but my question is like, how do I enhance my skills during my PhD so that I can end up in the industries and I can enhance my skills in the research? How is it helpful for me? Like, how do I proceed with this?
Okay, thank you, Khushbu. Who wants to? Marty, go ahead.
Yes, great question. So when you're thinking about the technical skills, because technology is changing so fast, I really do recommend jumping into any of the resources that are available from industry companies that are leading the way in this technology. So maybe start to figure out which areas of tech, because every single company has offerings out there. So find out which areas you want to pursue. But there is material out there that can help you bridge that industry connection and that really specific area. And again, because the rate of tech is so fast, you may not have access to that unless you're diving into some of the industry resources that are available.
So Dejan, I can just add to that. I mean, lovely answer, Marty. But just to add to that, I mean, there's the concept of lifelong learning, right? I mean, use AI and use all these educational tools available, data for lifelong learning. And again, like I said before, I don't think you are any less today given AI is there. You are rather more power to be able to apply to jobs and especially be very relevant to the industry. The last thing I would say is try to secure an internship. Try to do a short-term assignment with a company. I think that helps a lot. That gives you the view of how the business works, PhDs and masters and bachelors, they teach you the education in the classroom. When you want to really know how the industry works and what happens in reality, I would suggest if you can secure an internship or summer intern or anything of that sort, it greatly helps you understand where I should go. I'll stop there.
Okay, thank you. Let's try to answer the third question, and then we'll go to others. We have some questions here in chat. I can't see Q&A really, so Abir, if you can pass them and copy in the chat. The next question is, how can industry and academia help? What change needs to take place? And I'd like to start with Moez this time first.
Let's say, yeah, industry and academia are really pillars for this to foster the change, because they are not in they are on supply side, but also on the demand side. So we need to consider them, and at the same time to need to engage with the society to be able to attract more people and to attract not just more clients for industry, but also for more adopters and more adopters for the change, but also to foster the change. I think there will be a lot of, as there are some risks all the time, there is some people who will not adhere and not to join the forces to be able to make this difference. But I think that they are leaders in doing such kind of processes and performing these changes. So change need to take place for sure, but how to implement that, how to make sure that the society engage in the right direction with different stakeholders. I think that also you don't mention the government here, but the government play an important role in order to as a multi-stakeholder actors all together to be able to move forward with the development of AI, and also the change that need to be occurred in the society. So yeah, I think that's important to mention, and I rely to other speakers maybe to emphasize more points, and I will be back maybe later to talk more.
Thank you, Moez. Reem, would you like to go next? Reem, you are still muted.
Sorry, I was on mute. Sorry, I was typing for one of the questions, so I missed the last question. If you can just recap.
Okay, the question is shown here on the screen. I'm not sure if you can see. How can industry and academia help? What change needs to take place?
Academia, how can
industry and academia help? What change needs to take place?
Okay. So for academia, I think embedding the AI within the curriculum is very important. I mean, it's not that helpful, but we need to educate actually the new generation, the people, the student in the university and the schools, how to utilize and to be assisted by the AI and how to use it in their, future job. The industry, I cannot answer this question. I mean, in the academia, I already participated in some committee in Al University in Makkah, in embedding and modifying the curriculum for the engineering college to have the accreditation and also to help bridging the gap between the academia and the industry. And it was very helpful, actually, for the graduate.
Thank you, Reem. Samarth?
Yeah, so I think it's impossible to ignore AI, and it's impossible to restrict ourselves and to resist against AI. But I think the best thing to do here is look outside what kind of jobs exist. And I can tell you the industries like mine, we are also going out quite a lot in the STEM education, early education path, looking for students early on, trying to bring them on board early on, just so that they understand what is needed by us at the industry, to be able to study those things in the curriculum. So I think what's needed here is, or what change needs to happen is, I think we all need to be open-minded. We need to have a sense of change management in our mind, and secondly, we all need to not overly use, not overly rely on AI, but use it wisely. Again, as I said before, also I'm repeating myself, I know, but that's all I can say. That we are all for this. We are not gonna not have someone in our industry, if someone were to use AI to do anything for nice reasons. But at the same time, we are also very, very reliant on human brain. We need the brain to function. We need it to do excellent things. On top of that, if you can apply AI and do something great, we're happy for it. So I can tell you we are adopting. That's all I can say. We are adopting. Thank you.
Thank you, Samarth. Marty?
Just quickly, I think that industry could be providing more resources for academia to get their professors trained in AI or whatever that means, or more comfortable with it, because it's not broadly across, and that's putting a lot of pressure on universities that we expect that they're experts in it, and they're not. So, and then I think from industry also, or from academia, is to allow more projects to open up, not just hackathons, but actual projects that youth can work on that are, they can apply different ideas or apply using things and trying to solve a business case or a business problem by using the technology. So those relationships and collaboration, I'd love to see more of that happen.
And I just happen to lead like 7 university relationships within HP with professors and students working year-round on projects that are deeply leveraging AI or are for AI. And I think that basically is the answer to the first question from audience. And that was, I'm a student researcher in mechatronics engineering. What is the synergy between modern research leveraging on AI technology? And my quick answer to this is that just like maybe 15, 20 years ago, when computer science came about, now it's the same thing with AI. It will just become widespread and it could be used for everything. And everything is almost focusing on AI nowadays. So it's a widespread. If anyone wants to add to this question, it's the first question in the chat. And if not, I can go to the second one, and that's a question from Saif. For young engineers in developing regions like MENA, Middle East, and North Africa, how do you recommend positioning themselves to turn AI disruption into an opportunity, specifically in fields?
So maybe that's a question for me, maybe.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I'll give you a simple example, a very, very technical example. In fact, you all use MATLAB Simulink in your universities, I believe, to be able to draw models and run simulations, right? Now, you should know that, MATLAB is also working with AI, and they are also trying to build, AI engines within MATLAB, just so that they can give you the opportunity to type in commands and bring models on their own. What I can tell you to do, and what you should do, honestly, is make your own models. Let's say a power flow diagram, or I don't know, anything that you would like to do, frequency control. Make your own model from the books that you have learned, see how it performs. Then ask agentic AI within MATLAB to make the same model for you and compare the results. And this way you will learn a lot. But the one thing that you shouldn't do is start with asking AI. I think that will really, really drag you down. That will not let you think out of the box. So I'll tell you, I mean, when I was really young in my school days, high school, I had a great teacher, and I used to write essays very nicely. And once I asked her, I read a lot of books, and ultimately I end up copying a lot of text from the books to the essays that I'm writing. And she said, you don't have to worry. What you do is you read the essays, close the book, keep it aside, and after 1 hour, write it in your own words. And that ways, you will actually remember what happened. It's your own words. Maybe the ideas are same. So I would suggest doing the same. Just don't start with AI, but use it to check your results, verify your models, and those are the things that you can do, I would say.
Yeah, I confirm, and I think that's very important to say to different users, that we need to challenge the AI systems. Sometimes we need to push, not just start with AI as Samir said. I think we don't need to start by AI, but we need to also think by ourselves and try to challenge the AI later on to verify the results and to check if they're bringing something new or verified.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to the next question. I have a general CV containing all my qualifications and achievements. When applying for jobs, I send this CV to AI to prepare a job-specific resume. Is that ethical use of AI?
I'll jump in on that. I think it is, as long as you go back and read it. What I see, because we see thousands of applications a day for young people, and I see people who will literally leave in the chat GPT box that says insert name here because they haven't gone back to read it. Use AI to help you draw out maybe skills that you haven't really thought about that you do have, right? But make sure that you've read through that. One of the biggest problems that we do see is a mismatch in people when they get hired, because companies are using AI algorithms, young people are using AI to fix their resumes, but they're not, like this mismatch happens. So then they get into the job and they're not qualified for it, or it's not the right company for them, right? So just think about that as you do it. And then I would also just add one more thing to this. It's not just about your resume. Try to get out there and build relationships with people, network. Don't be scared by what that word means, but actually try to get yourself, more and more people to talk to about the industry you want to go into. Learn about it. That curiosity will get you really far in finding jobs.
Great advice, Marty, especially networking. We can never underestimate it or overestimate it. The next question is, how can international PhD researcher make their profiles more attractive for industry roles in Europe? Anyone hiring among our panelists in Europe? And
yeah, I mean, it's a great question, and if anyone else wants to jump in, please feel free. I'll try to take it very shortly, but I'll be very honest. I mean, when we have a job post, on LinkedIn or wherever I post, very honestly, I mean, 75% or more than that percentage of CVs and profiles we get is not within the country we are hiring. And I've hired in multiple countries. The trend is same within Europe, and I'm talking specifically Europe now. And I can tell you, it's not that we are not bringing people. We are bringing people from outside of Europe. Within Europe, there's a lot of movement, but also outside of Europe. But I think one has to understand there are certain regulations. First of all, political reasons. I mean, visas are issues and this and that. So that stops us somewhat. But more importantly, also, I mean, I think it's not wrong to say that if you have studied in the US or if you have studied in Asia, then let's take cybersecurity as an example, because we are talking AI. I take that as an example. The cybersecurity regulations in all of these regions and countries is very different. So you were taught to study, you were taught to work on a certain sort of cybersecurity standard and compliance. Moving to another part of the world, it's slightly different. I'm not saying you cannot learn. I'm not saying that. But the humble answer here is, if I find someone who knows something within my region that has the experience and knowledge, I would rather take this person than someone from outside. Having said that, I can tell you we are still struggling to get the right competence, the right match for profiles anywhere. That's a fact, actually, especially in the electrification industry. This is a fact.
okay, let me ask the next question. Some experts argue that universities in their current form and the traditional degrees they award may gradually lose their relevance unless they significantly transform the way education is delivered. They suggest a stronger emphasis on skills development and competencies rather than knowledge acquisition alone, particularly in light of the rapid advancements in AI. What is your perspective on this view?
I love these questions, but I'm happy for someone else to jump in.
Oh, go ahead, Marty.
Okay, I love anything about future reform or any of that stuff. I do think we have an emphasis on technical skills and skills development, and that is also in the soft skill space. But one of the most valuable things that people traditionally gained out of university was critical thinking and being just an all around not just great student, but like somebody who is interested in the world and learning about all sorts of diverse, polarized ideas. so that you can bring all of that with you as just a knowledge base and so much that you can give to a job. That doesn't mean you know the best AI skills, but it does mean you're a systems thinker. And companies really do need system thinkers, and they need people who bring that critical thinking with them. So I still believe in a lot of just general knowledge and that discord and hard conversations that you should have in university. And how do you learn to navigate all of that? Then the skills. So I don't think it loses its value. It's just we are emphasizing a lot on technical skills right now.
Spot on, Martel. I mean, just 5 cents or 2 cents or 1 cent on that. I mean, there's no replacement for hard work. I think you all would agree with me. Critical thinking, hard work, you cannot replace with any tool, anything in the world at this point of time. So just keep that in mind. If you're a hard worker, you can prove your skills you have learned in the class. You're still a very good pool of talent, So.
Okay, we got the last question, and I have a couple of questions. We still have time. With AI reshaping EMEA's, Europe, Middle East, and Africa's job market, what specific emerging skills should the future workforce prioritize today to remain competitive? And how can employers bridge this sudden digital gap? I'm sure, Marty, you love this question. Who wants to answer it?
I do, but please jump in.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. The reality is that I think companies everywhere, I spend a lot of time in San Francisco, and you would think the entire world is completely digitized and AI is running everything when you spend time here. But then you go out around the world and that adoption is much, much slower. So yes, it is happening fast. There's a great opportunity because these technologies are a lot more accessible than maybe they were in the past. But companies are struggling to figure this all out. The workforce doesn't wake up today and all of a sudden we're all experts on AI. Everybody, companies are working on how do we create more AI knowledge within it? How do we actually use it? Right? Whatever your industry is. So those questions are real. I'm literally going to jump into a corporate think tank after this. And I heard it all day yesterday from them as well. Same things. They're trying to figure out how they get AI into their workplace. So we're all struggling with this question set. You're bringing just some inspirational, great new ideas. And you're probably better at learning AI than maybe I am. And so use that again as a talent area, but don't underestimate how important it is to build these relationships. I'm going to just keep saying that because those relationships are going to get you far in a company or to a company.
Okay, anybody else? Or I wanted to ask our esteemed panelists a question. To what extent is sovereign aspect important in Europe, especially? Because from US, I live in San Francisco area. It appears that sovereign aspects are most critical in Europe because maybe of too many countries or compared to other regions. So any comments by anyone?
I mean, if I maybe Moez, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No problem.
No, I mean, before Brexit, I mean, things were even easier with the UK. But after Brexit, if I leave the UK out of this conversation, I would say within Schengen area, within the European area, it's quite easy. Now, if I move beyond Europe, Region 8, thinking Middle East and Africa, I mean, it's not that it's not happening. The movement is happening. And I can tell you, everyone is looking for the best of the best talent in the world. And what is that best of the best talent? It's not the AI one. It's the one that has multidisciplinary approach to problem solving. Mechatronics, meaning, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, great. Computer science and power systems, great. So those are the things. So think about, what is it that makes it easier for you to move between the borders? And I think the answer is skill. Your interdisciplinary skills will help you. So I wouldn't say it's a big problem within Europe, especially. Dejan, it's not a roadblock, I would say.
There are three aspects. One is the infrastructure, which is not available in different countries in the same way. So sovereignty become much more essential for the development of AI and development of AI systems because of lack of infrastructure in some regions and some countries. Second is the data. There is a need all time to say this is our data, this is national data, this is regional data, this is with this data we protect culture, we protect our knowledge, we protect our a lot of things. Data is very important, and then this is why sovereignty is very important in these regions, particularly also in developing countries. And the third thing, which is the skills, and you mentioned about them, Samarth. I think that's very important that to consider that, because the move of from engineering from the south to the north or to different countries, that's very important that some countries to keep their talents in their countries, or try to provide better conditions, for example, for engineering to be able to develop systems. So that's why the sovereignty have three aspects that are really, really important to consider.
We cannot hear you, Dejan, for some reason.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Sorry, I got it. You mentioned infrastructure. To what extent are AI factories being adopted in Region 8?
Asking me a question or?
Asking everybody.
Okay.
What was the question, Dejan? One more time, please.
AI factories. These are the deployment units of rack scale, multiple rack scales, or even small data. Are they especially supporting? It's okay if there's no answer. I can go with other questions from audience, and you can answer this one later. Question for Marty, but I believe it's for everybody. You mentioned using industry resources to bridge into fast-moving tech areas. How do early career engineers practically choose which ecosystem to commit to when everything from AI to embedded to cloud looks equally important at the start?
Oh, such a good question. For me, I look for community. I feel like I'm on repeat today, but I do think your community is really important. I love IEEE because it's such a strong community. So maybe start to figure out what industries are important in your area or where you want to go, and what kind of supportive community is there around it. Some technical communities are more supportive than others, and that I think is key early on in your career and later on. But early on, when you're trying to get your footing in the door, you want to find great mentors, you want to find great role models. So look for those industries.
And jumping from early career to IEEE fellow who is retired with lots of field engineering experience, but with lack of AI experience, how can he be part of the change in industry with IEEE support? Any specific programs or platforms he can participate in? Abir, feel free to jump in if you will. I know that there's a lot of webinars, a lot of conferences, a lot of publications. There's IEEE education. I just recommend that you look through all these resources. There's so many resources that you can spend all your time on that.
But then there's also the mentorship program where we need people like IEEE fellows who have spent decades building their career and they have this experience that we need. So I think the mentorship program is perfect match for, this bucket of people which we really, really need, I think.
Yes, absolutely. And then the next question, as AI continues to reduce barriers to technical work, what do you think will become the real competitive advantage for future talent across EMEA? Expertise, adaptability, or the ability to work effectively alongside intelligent systems?
I'll let anyone else answer, but I think the answer is in the question itself. The ability to work effectively alongside intelligent system. I think that's the key, right? We all know that we're going to go there. We know we have to use AI, but it doesn't mean that you can sit and let AI do your job. It's for most of the work that we do. Think of medical infrastructure. Think of medical equipments that are using AI to predict early on cancer detection, etc. Even though it does, I mean, at the end of the day, you need to feed the data. The models need to be right, and you need to work together with them so that you're actually not making a wrong decision.
Yeah.
So it's really hurting somebody's life. So I think you need to really work together with AI in the coming age.
Yeah. Well,
I can add, yes, that losing also your critical thinking. I mean, we need to also think about the human critical thinking and the intuition also when
yeah,
working
great
with
point.
it.
Great points, Reem, Samarth, MartiI, Moez. I want to thank you. I think we ran out of time a few minutes ago. Thank you and thanks the audience. Thanks IEEE for organizing, especially a beer, Chermiti. Hope to see you in the next region. Bye.
Thank you all.
all.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you all. Bye.
Thank you all. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.